Yes, lads, so apparently we are looking to extend Erling Haaland's contract to go from, what is he on, £375,000 a week to 400,000 plus. Is he on £375,000 a week? No, he's on much more than that, all right? Player salaries plus bonuses, agent salaries, things like that. He's on much more than that, trust me. From the title of this video, you're probably pretty angry at the title, and I understand. I'm just going to tell you what I truly believe. He's going to be leaving in 2025.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Listen, my mentality when it comes to, or just my mindset when it comes to Erling Haaland has always been, he's definitely not here for the long haul. 100% he is not here for the long haul. I would have to see it to believe it. But his dad said, and I quote, he wants to test his abilities out in all the big leagues. He stayed at Salzburg for a couple of years, Dortmund in Germany for like 3 years. Yeah, 2019 to 2022. And then he's been at City for a year. Latest, 2026, 2025, 2026, I think he'll leave. I have no problem with the contract at all. No City fan should have a disagreement with the amount of money that he's getting paid. He deserves every single penny of it. UEFA Men's Player of the Year, the best player in Europe from last season, treble, records. He broke like a record like every 3 months. The best debut season I've ever seen in my entire life. The best season from a striker in Premier League history. The strikers that were more, better at football, like, Luis Suarez at Liverpool, that 13-14 season. I'm just talking about goals and achievements. I'm looking at the player salaries here, and I'm looking at some of the salaries here, and it just blows my mind. I mean, Haaland, 19.5 million, no disagreement with that. De Bruyne, Jack Grealish on 15.6, Bernardo Silva, John Stones, Phil Foden, Rodri. Julian Alvarez is only on 5.2. Julian Alvarez earns less than Matheus Nunes, Calvin Phillips, and Kovacic. Could that be because of age? Vardiol is younger, he earns double what Julian Alvarez earns. Calvin Phillips earns £7.8 million a year.
Stop the cap.
Around £3 million more than Julian Alvarez. Are you... What? You see, I would love to extend Julian's contract even more, but we just extended it to 2028 in March, so it might be premature, but in my opinion, he doesn't deserve £5.2 million a week. In my opinion, he deserves closer to 10, maybe 8 or 9 million pounds a week. I mean, Matheus Nunes, how was he on 6.7? I don't get that. Julian Alvarez is our best player this season. I mean, he is, like I said in the comment in my previous video. My video is on 4K views, by the way. Thank you all so much for that, by the way. I think he's a top 5 player in the world, and I think he should be compensated a lot more than that, but 5.2, I'm sorry, man. That's just... Also, it's a bit strange to see City fans completely bombarding Erling Haaland with all these hate messages on Twitter over the last couple of days because he keeps blanking in matches. And suddenly, when contract extension talks begin, y'all change your energy real quick. I saw this question in a couple of group chats over the last couple of days. Julian Alvarez is a better player than Haaland. Julian Alvarez is better than Haaland. It's not going to do us any good to compare players from our team. What I will say is that I thought Julian Alvarez was a better football player before we signed Erling Haaland. When both those players came, I said it on this channel. Julian Alvarez is the better player. It's not his job. It's not Haaland's job to create chances. Okay, I don't know why people are saying that. Alvarez can create chances and Haaland can't. Yeah, of course. What, people think you deserve a Nobel Prize for stating the obvious? I mean, I can see with my own eyes. Haaland doesn't create chances. Haaland can't pass or dribble at an elite level. He can do it, he's a professional player, but at an elite level. He can't pass like Cesc Fabregas, and he can't dribble like Garrincha or freaking Paulo Dybala or like Maradona or something like that, but it's not his job. His job is to finish chances, and Pep Guardiola said this in an interview. He doesn't really like getting on strikers for not scoring goals because they can shut you up the next game. The reason why Alvarez has all this space, I mean, it's literally basic football knowledge. He has all this space because every time we play a team They put 11 men behind the ball. That creates a lot of space for Julian Alvarez. I'm not saying Alvarez can't get that space if he was a striker, but because they put 2 or 3 defenders on Erling Haaland, he's 6'4", he's fast and he's strong. Obviously, you're going to put your defenders on the biggest threat on the field. Julian Alvarez gets that space because Haaland gives him that space. Okay, and I'm not saying Alvarez can't do what he's been doing if it wasn't for Haaland. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a causality. I'm saying there's a causality, okay? Julian Alvarez is our best player, and honestly, I'm sick of the comparisons between Haaland and Alvarez because saying that Alvarez is a better football player than Haaland is just, in my opinion, bringing up this debate is just completely moronic. Obviously, he's a better player than Erling Haaland. The first example that I thought of was Olivier Giroud at the 2018 World Cup. Giroud is not fast. He can't pass. He can't dribble. Okay, and I'm talking about at an elite level. Of course, these professionals can pass and dribble, but I'm talking about at an elite level. What did Giroud do during the World Cup? Hold up play as a striker. He had a role. He didn't score goals. He had a role. He didn't score goals, but he was fundamental, very pivotal to France's success in that World Cup. Okay, Haaland creates chances, creates space for other players. I mean, he did some hold-up play to give it to Alvarez, who gave it to Doku for that 3rd goal against Leipzig. I mean, can't you people see that? Happy to compare players from my team to other teams, to other players from other teams, but I don't understand why we can't just praise Jeremy Doku for having a great game, but instead City fans go on Twitter and just completely slander Jack Grealish. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not part of that train. Nobody's above criticism. Jack Grealish is 3rd on this list for the highest paid City players, okay? Obviously, if you get all this money, we're going to expect results, but Jack Grealish, have you ever thought in your mind that Jack Grealish was brought in for a specific reason? To create chances? I mean, look at this graphic here. 35 chances created in a single UCL campaign, okay? Frank Lampard is on here 3 times. Legendary player, by the way. That's actually, when I saw that, it blew my mind. Jack Grealish, amazing at ball retention. But I get it sometimes when he doesn't pass his opponents, when he doesn't take on his opponents, it can be frustrating. When Haaland doesn't score, it can be frustrating. But you have to understand that there are causalities. When you do something, something else happens. When you open doors, something else happens. When Haaland goes to the right side, there's going to be a space on the left side. I mean, it's just basic football. Okay, the space opens up for the players behind him. Okay, so I'm not going to compare players. And lastly, I do think Haaland is going to leave in 2025. I really don't want him to, obviously. My mindset has always been enjoy him while you can. He's not going to be here for a long time, but he's going to be here for a couple of years, and hopefully we can win as many trophies with him as possible. Thank you all so much for watching.